is crack. Rock cocaine. It isn't glamorous or cool or kid stuff. It's the most addictive kind of cocaine, and it can kill you. What's really bad is nobody knows how much it takes. So every time you use it, you risk dying. It isn't worth it. Look, everybody wants to be cool. But doing it with crack isn't just wrong. It could be dead wrong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn. You probably remember me from the previous 74 episodes. And drum roll, I am joined here, as always, by accomplished author, HTML goddess, Kat Halstead.
Oh, Patrick! I might kill the guys who created all this complicated HTML.
HTML5, is that what it's called now? It has like a weird name.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to that guy.
Yeah, okay, guys, you have made this so complicated. Like, there's no need for it to be this complicated. And the whole div span thing looks like crap.
Kat is redesigning her website, kathalstead.com, and she has been like knee deep in all this new lingo that you have to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I started doing this 20 years ago.
When you were making GeoCity pages by hand.
Yeah, like tripod pages, AOL pages.
Angel Fire. Shout out to Angel Fire.
Exactly.
So this is a special episode for us because this is like a monumental number. We finally hit 75, believe it or not.
They're like, wait, what?
Who would have thought that we would have made it this far?
Yes. People are just now becoming Katy Pats.
I don't think anyone even knows we made it this far.
Exactly.
People are just discovering this podcast and they're like, there's fucking 75 of these?
Yeah, we just kind of like vanished.
And so we thought like we would be done after like the Magnum PI episode almost destroyed us. It was a two-parter. We recorded a two-part episode, and the first part just destroyed us. We came back like 4 months later, and we did the rest.
We didn't know what was up.
We had to watch them both again because we couldn't remember what they were about. Then we recorded like the Monsters episode, I think.
No, we did Reba.
Oh, Reba. And then we did the Monsters after that, but I sat on the files for like 6 months before I released them.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we come back with like a bunch of episodes at once.
Yes, we came back with a vengeance, and we've been going ever since. We got a second lease on life.
We did. And even with a little hiatus here or there.
Yeah, we deserve a break every now and then, right?
So, yes. What are you drinking tonight?
I have like 3 different beverages with me right now.
Okay.
I know I say this is a podcast in which we drink wine, but I just took a bunch of cold medicines. So I am accompanying that with some water, some iced tea, and a coffee. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get like a whirlwind of emotions.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I took the cough medicine and I was like, oh shit, I'm going to get sleepy. So I brewed a pot of coffee to like counteract that tiredness, I guess. And are you guzzling wine tonight? Like, what are you doing for episode 75?
I do have a very large glass of wine.
Can I have wine with cough syrup?
I think you're already loopy enough. I don't know if that's going to be.
Okay.
But I also have the, of course, regular Coca-Cola.
All right. So next week, I will rejoin the wine tasting of the podcast. I'm allowing Kat to be lit tonight. Maybe we'll get a rare appearance by Lit Kat.
I mean, it's the 75th episode.
It is. Who knows? We might have celebrity guests stop by. There might be a knock at the door. And like,
you never know who's going to drop by. The doorbell could ring, ding dong, and then
in comes like Lucille Ball.
The ghost of Lucille Ball.
I don't know. Who knows? So what are we doing tonight? Which classic television series or special or movie are we dipping into this evening?
We are diving back into our childhood with the classic TV special that tells us just to say no. Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue.
Yes, the 1990 animated drug abuse prevention special, which it featured cartoon characters from your favorite weekday Saturday morning shows.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much like brought out the big guns for this. You didn't get like the shitty like Macaulay Culkin cartoon characters in this from his like short-lived Wish Kid. What's the name of it?
Don't even remember.
There was a Macaulay Culkin Saturday morning cartoon that was on for like a year.
I can totally see it in my head, but I can't think of what the title was.
There was like a 3-year, 4-year period where they would just get whoever was the big movie star that year, and they would give them like a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Or like whoever was like, didn't Rosie O'Donnell have a cartoon?
She might have.
Or Roseanne?
Roseanne definitely did. It was like Little Rosie.
Yeah, Little Rosie.
There's John Candy Camp Candy, which actually holds up pretty good. I watched that over the summer. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, there's Life with Louie.
Yeah, with Louis Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Howie Mandel did a few.
Bobby's World.
I said it so hesitantly. A part of me was like, was that Howie Mandel?
I'm like, it's Bobby's World. We've talked about Bobby's World, at least in the group chat.
I know. I don't think it's hit our podcast earwaves, though.
No, it hasn't.
Someday we'll get to you, Bobby.
I was like traumatized when I watched the Halloween episode from like 1990 or something, and there's Donald Trump. It'll happen, Bobby.
One of these days. Just one of them days. All right, so when did this air? When did this show air?
April 21st, 1990, which is a Saturday.
It was a Saturday, and we definitely watched this in school the following Monday, I'm pretty sure.
We probably watched it in school, too.
I definitely remember being in second grade.
I think it's the kind of thing we all watched.
And so there was 4 second grade classrooms in my school, and the 4 teachers together, we all like went down to like a bigger room. I think we went to the library, and they wheeled out the TV from the AV club room, and they slapped in the VHS, like recorded, like still included the commercials and everything. The teacher would get up and like fast forward through the commercials.
Well, your teachers actually fast forwarded through the commercials?
Yeah, she sat right in front of the TV, and she just like hopped up real quick, hit the FF button.
We never had a teacher who would fast forward through the commercials of the stuff they record off. I had teachers who, like, when they recorded stuff at home, they didn't record the commercials.
Oh yeah, see, I've had that thing because we definitely watched like a Martin Luther King movie, and I remember it was, you could tell she recorded it from home because you would get like 15 seconds of like a commercial for the next day's Oprah that just got like cut off in the middle, and you're like, oh fuck, I wanted to watch that commercial because it's like a 15-year-old Oprah commercial. And you're like, I wanted to see who the guest was that day.
Yeah, because we totally had, when I was in middle school, that's basically all health class was.
Watching like after school specials.
Yeah, watching made for TV movies, after school specials, very special episodes.
Fun times in 99. I don't know.
No, it was middle school. It wasn't 1999.
We still did it in high school, though. We still watched those. We definitely watched Degrassi in high school. I remember that.
Oh, no, my high school health classes, because I took 2, because of the stupid whole transfer across country crap. Like, we didn't do the, like, videos.
You had to take it again.
We actually had to, like, listen to lectures about stuff.
Oh, that's dumb. That's lame. See, I had, like, a pretty hip health teacher, and actually, I just read a really good article about her, because she was, like the first person in Massachusetts, like, the first woman who, like, pushed women's sports, like, in the 70s or something like that.
Ooh.
So, shout out to, Mrs. Fuck, I forgot her last name. Watson. I'll link the article.
No, I just remember my the health teacher I had in Colorado told the entire class that I was going to root for the Jets one weekend instead of the Broncos, and I was mortified.
The whole school probably hated you. They probably
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? I'm like, yes, I'm the new girl, but don't make them hate me. And second of all, I'm from Broncos family, so step up. It wasn't like I could like hide in my seat. I was at the front of the class, like turning in a quiz or something. It was the absolute worst. He's all like, you guys gotta forgive Catherine. And I'm just like, oh my God. Can we be real? Most of these people probably didn't even notice who I was before that. And then your teacher calls you out as a Jets fan.
Yeah, I never paid attention to new students. Sorry, Kat.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fucking new girl again.
Yeah.
Did they call you like New Jersey? Because they never like say your name.
One guy definitely called me Jersey Girl. Courtney, because he couldn't remember my name at first.
So you're just like the Jersey girl?
Yeah, he's like, Jersey Girl.
You were like a Kevin Smith movie cliche?
And then we were like kind of best friends, and then he asked out the guy I liked, and he kind of outed himself, and things got weird.
Oh, this is like hot scandal in Durango, Colorado.
No, it wasn't in Durango, it was in Lafayette.
Hot scandal in Lafayette, Colorado. A little male-on-male action.
Well, in his dreams.
Did he say no? The other guy?
Yeah, the other guy was like, no.
Oh, well, we'll have to follow up. We'll find out if there ever was like a secret affair between them that didn't make the school newspaper.
There wasn't.
All right, should we talk about what was on this night?
Yeah, was Did you figure out this aired in the morning or at night?
I think it was on during the day because I found the TV schedule for that evening, and Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue was definitely not on there. So this definitely probably aired with the other Saturday morning cartoon shows.
So they like tried to slip it into your like cartoon routine.
And it was on every channel at the same time.
Yeah.
So no matter what network you put on, it was there.
Yeah, you couldn't get away from this.
No.
And this is before everybody had cable still, so.
Basically, NBC, CBS, ABC, I think even Fox aired it.
Yeah, I think Fox as well.
And some like local channels too, like your local syndicated channels. Like the things that eventually became WB and UPN probably aired these two because they probably had like morning blocks. Let's be real. All right, so what was on this night, April 21st, 1990? It's a Saturday night. And Saturday nights were hopping in like 1990 for television. Like this was like a fun night of television.
Okay, let's hear it because I miss Saturday night TV.
Yeah, I would have definitely watched almost everything on this.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so we're going to start with ABC. You want to start with ABC?
Yeah, let's start with ABC.
All right, so tonight on ABC was the 2-hour series premiere from 8 to 10 of a George Clooney series called Sunset Beat.
Sunset what?
Beat.
Okay.
And it sounds very, very exciting. So it was about a team of Los Angeles cops who go undercover, posing as motorcycle bikers to nail street crime and other disorder.
Ooh.
So it's very like Sons of Anarchy-ish with George Clooney.
And this is like young George Clooney.
Yeah, this was like probably while he was playing Booker. This is probably why he had to leave Roseanne.
No, he left Roseanne for Sisters.
Well, this is probably right before Sisters then. This is probably like weeks before Sisters came out. So
yeah, I think it's like weeks.
and this was on a Saturday night in April, so this was probably like a burn-off.
They ordered it, and then they were like, yeah, we're not as thrilled with it. We're going to push it back until we need filler.
And they already paid George Clooney, so we're like, all right, we'll just air it. If it does well, we'll commission a second season. If not, we'll just forget it existed. And these two dopes in like 36 years, we'll talk about it in a podcast. 26 years. I just aged us by 10 years. Sorry.
Thanks, always aging us. Always making us older than we are.
Shout out to aging. All right, following Sunset Beat is the AFI Life Achievement Award special. It was for a man named David Lean, someone I do not know about.
Name's not ringing a bell.
All I know is that he was British. That's all I figured out. And I think he was in a movie with Sir Alec Guinness at one point.
Okay.
All right, so that was ABC. Shall we do CBS?
Okay, let's hit up CBS.
All right, so from 8 to 9 p.m. that night was the third and final season of a show called Guns of Paradise.
Okay.
The show was originally called just Paradise, but they retooled it for its third season, and it did not do too well. This was an American Western television series, but it was aimed at the family crowd. It wasn't like people dying every 10 seconds. It was like repeated on the Family Channel for many years after.
Okay.
And it basically was about a fictitious gunfighter whose sister dies and she leaves him her 4 children.
Oh, one of those.
You probably have to deal with like robbers coming into town and like, I don't know, stuff that teenagers go through.
And just like the whole like family, like, oh, we have to rebond and blah, blah, blah. Total Hallmark Channel fodder now.
It is. It sounds like that show that, what was that show you were telling me about last week?
When Calls the Heart?
Yes. It actually really doesn't sound like it, but just that it took place in olden days. So I just assumed the two.
You know, it sounds more like Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, or Christy, or one of those.
Fun fact, this show was canceled and replaced with Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Okay.
And Christy, was that the show with, what's her name from Rebecca Martin from Life Goes On?
Kellie Martin.
Did I call her Rebecca Martin?
Yeah, you called her Rebecca Martin.
Is there a Rebecca Martin?
I don't think so.
If there is, tweet us at Very Podcast.
Yeah, Kellie Martin's one of those Hallmark queens
Shout out to Kellie Martin, though.
who like does a million movies.
She did a lot of TV series back in the day. Like she did Life Goes On, Christy. Did she ever run on ER?
Yeah, she did. She was Lucy. She was Lucy and she died like just as she and Carter were like, oh, Lucy's dead. That was like a death that totally shook me.
You're still reeling from the aftermath.
Like, yes, I'm still reeling for Lucy's death. Oh my God, I hate you.
It's like 17 years later.
I hate you so much.
Rip, Lucy. Following Guns of Paradise, do you remember this? Tour of Duty? It was about the Vietnam War.
Don't remember that.
They just like followed this platoon through Vietnam War. Kind of like, you know those things that like HBO does, like with Tom Hanks?
One of those fake documentary type series.
Dramatized, but it's also informative. And they're...
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun. I liked it. I've definitely seen it over the years.
I know what you're saying, and I think our Katie Pats will understand as well.
Shout out to Katie Pats. Following Tour of Duty on at the 10 o'clock hour was Saturday Night with Connie Chung.
Connie Chung!
So Connie Chung, Saturday nights, chilling with her. I don't know. She was probably rehashing the week. Who knows? I didn't watch this.
So this is before 48 Hours started.
So I don't know much about this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you had like a hot take on it. You started to.
No, I just said this is before 48 because 48 Hours is like the CBS Saturday night staple now. And it's been on for a while.
So they did a little experimenting in the early 90s. They gave us Connie Chung for a few weeks, maybe a few years. Who knows?
Probably a few years. Connie Chung was like the woman of news for a while.
Yeah, she was like the Diane Sawyer.
Well, she was also like the one who covered the whole like Nancy and Tanya stuff.
She was our go-to Nancy Tanya girl.
Well, because CBS had the Olympics that year. Remember when NBC didn't always get them?
I mean, I didn't know that specific fact, but I'm going to believe it.
You're like, okay, Kat. I don't know why I know stuff I know.
See the things you learn from this podcast.
The random stuff that just sits up in Kat's mind that confuse and scare my family.
Can we talk about NBC this night?
I'm excited for the NBC lineup.
All right, so NBC had new episodes across the board tonight of all of their Saturday night staples.
Yes, go NBC.
We started the night off with 227.
Yes, 227. I love 227.
We've definitely talked about that in the past, I think. It's come up a few times.
Yeah, it's come up.
And I think we might have to like dip into 227 at some point.
Oh, for sure.
We have to educate the young audience on the times.
On the times. Life on the stoop.
Following 227, there was a show I've never heard of called 13 East.
13 East, okay.
I'm guessing a half-hour sitcom.
Yeah.
The only thing I could find out about it was that it's about nurses who balance work and home life at a large city hospital.
Okay, so they're probably on the 13th floor on the East Wing.
Yeah, that could be it. Or maybe that's like the street. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess like maybe nurses were popular on this time because Empty Nest was also on this night, which eventually spun off into Nurses.
Yes.
Which that was on an hour later after this. But before Empty Nest was our favorite, The Golden Girls.
Thank you for being a friend.
Actually, The Golden Girls was a repeat this night. I lied when I said NBC was all new.
What episode of The Golden Girls was it?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says repeat.
Darn it.
And Empty Nest doesn't say what episode it was. But what was following Golden Girls and Empty Nest Hour, though, is something brand new. Carol and Company.
Oh, the Carol Burnett, like, variety hour show, right?
Yes. So this was an early 90s comedy variety show.
Totally watched that.
It was on for like 2 seasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It starred Carol Burnett, obviously, Jeremy Piven,
Okay.
Richard Kind, and Peter Krause.
What? That is like the most random group of people.
Other people have guest starred on it. So it has also included Betty White. She's been in episodes. Christopher Reeves, Swoozie Kurtz, and Tim Conway.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So there's been like a bevy of guest stars on this. So like this was just, I guess they tried to, I think, capitalize on the Carol Burnett show maybe and just tried to do this like wacky show. And then when the show was canceled, Burnett actually went back to CBS to do like a short-lived revival of Carol Burnett show like the original.
Okay.
Shout out to Carol Burnett for like trying.
She wasn't going to just like tread water. She was going to keep pounding that entertainment pavement.
Yeah, like who do you think is like a modern day Carol Burnett that just like keeps trying to capitalize on previous successes?
Huh. I mean, somebody who's actually funny.
Someone who was groundbreaking, carried a show, and we talk about it still, and then just tried to like bounce off that for decades.
I don't think there's anybody who's really, not recently.
I think we had like Matthew Perry definitely for a while.
Yeah, like he keeps trying, but he had some like, he's had a few shows that like were really good, or still good.
Well, they were all canceled after one season, except for like, I think The Odd Couple is the only one that beat the odds.
I love The Odd Couple. I'm sad the season's already over.
It's already over?
Yeah.
Fucking February?
They put on Superior Donuts instead with Judd Hirsch.
What? Judd Hirsch is still doing stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to just fucking pound sand.
I was just like, I tried to give Superior Donuts a chance. Like Judd Hirsch, Katie Seagal, and then a bunch of people who Like, you'll recognize them, but you won't know their names, and you're just like, why is this TV show?
All right, so we have one more thing that was on that night that we need to get through.
Okay, what else?
NBC ends the night with a brand new episode of Down Home.
Down Home.
All I know is that it was co-produced by Ted Danson. It was on for 2 seasons, and it's about a New York executive who visits her hometown in Texas, and she just ends up staying there and just tries to like run her dad's bait and tackle shop.
Oh my gosh, what?
I don't know, I guess maybe it's very like Heart of Dixie-ish, maybe.
Yeah, I was totally like, is this Heart of Dixie?
Or something else that is just like someone returning to their roots. I don't know.
One of those kinds of things.
Yeah, those like feel-good hits. Maybe Providence, the show Providence, maybe?
Maybe.
Like something like that.
I never watched Providence.
I never did either, but it always seemed like that type of show to me. Like if someone like left their town, was away for a long time, then had to come back for some dumb reason.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the Katy Pats know.
Shout out to that thought. So that was our Saturday night. It was wild. Wild times in the 1990s.
It was. And you know we were totally watching NBC.
I probably was watching like videotapes of something that night, to be real.
Really?
Yeah.
We were definitely watching NBC.
1990, I was like 9 years old. I probably wasn't watching any of this stuff.
I was 100% watching NBC, but I was a weird child.
Don't put your glass down when you're talking.
Sorry!
Wait till you're not talking, because then I can edit it out.
I'm just so noisy.
All right, so shall we get into the wild world of drug prevention?
Give me a second. I need more wine first. Okay, I think I'm ready for this hot mess.
All right, so I love how this begins with our president, George Herbert Walker Bush, and his wife, First Lady Barbara Bush.
Who are the most adorable presidential couple ever.
Basically, just saying that cartoons are awesome.
Yeah.
Drugs are bad. And they probably had no idea what they were doing. Let's be real.
I mean, it was probably it was like part of Barbara Bush's just say no thing, but
George Bush looked like he was in a very important meeting, and they were like, hey, can you come in here and just film this like 15-second spot where you're just saying like, hey, a bunch of cartoon characters are going to tell you that drugs are bad.
It's like, can you come in here? You can stop talking about the Berlin Wall for like 5 seconds and just come film this for us? It
was very like they did 50 takes, and the one that they picked was like the best one, and it wasn't even that good.
George Bush was probably like, I got to get back to the phone to this meeting. We got to talk about the Saddam Hussein guy.
And he's like, what? What's a Michelangelo?
He's like, what is this? Who's Miss Piggy? What?
Smurfette?
What?
You could see him clearly reading the teleprompter, and it was just like he was reading Klingon. He might as well have been reading Klingon.
Poor President Bush.
Barbara Bush kind of held it together because I think she probably knew what was going on. Like, she knew what she had time to prepare.
Like, she read the memo.
Yeah. She had all afternoon.
That comes across the First Lady's desk, and poor President Bush gets dragged out of meetings.
He probably was like, he had the nuclear like arm open up and he's going to type in the code, and then like they were like, George, hold on, just do this like quick.
Like, wait, you gotta come like film this.
And he's like, all right, I'll put it down for a second.
It's for Barbara. She wants you to do it. Oh, okay. If it's for Barbara.
It's Barbara's pet project.
Gotta keep the wife happy.
Yes. And then we cut into like an animated home. Like, we just go into this house.
Yeah, you're just there. You're just like in this home, and the room, the brother, first thing you see is the brother steal the piggy bank.
You don't even see the brother steal the piggy bank. You just see like they show a piggy bank on a dresser drawer, and like a door opens and you just see like a hand grab it, and you like hear this mysterious music. And I mean, you can obviously tell that it's going to be someone in the house, because no one's just going to break into a house and steal a piggy bank that has like quarters in it. Yeah, like, come on. And they're not going to know exactly where the piggy bank is. He doesn't even open the door all the way. He just like opens it a crack enough to squeeze his hand in. Yeah, he just like opens to stick his arm in and slide it out. Yeah. Next to the piggy bank, there's like a Smurf comic book. Yeah, there's a Smurf comic book. And, you know, there's like different toys around the room and posters. There's like an Alf poster, and there's a Garfield lamp. It's not even an Alf poster. It's like a framed with a picture of Alf inside of it. Yeah, it's a framed picture of Alf. Like, did anybody have a framed picture of Alf on their walls? No, but I do now. I want to know. Do you now?
They probably do now.
The only thing that I had framed in my room was a signed picture of Sarah Buxton from Sunset Beach. And I was way too old to have that.
That was years later. At this point, I did not have anything like framed.
Well, this is like a little kid though. Like she is like
Yeah.
probably like 6 or 7 years old, and she has a frame of Elf. Like not even the real Elf, like the TV show, like the cartoon version of Elf.
Yeah, it was cartoon Elf.
Which is not as cool. Let's be real.
Yeah.
The Smurf comic is open to like a page that has Papa Smurf on it, and so he can see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because your comics are watching you.
it's very Toy Story like, where all these things, all these cartoon characters in the room, they come to life like when no one's looking.
Yeah, they're just like, let's go wake up Corey.
So the Smurfs, like, they have to crawl out of the pages of the comic book.
Yeah.
They then walk by the Elf picture. They like wake Elf up. There's a Garfield lamp.
Yeah, a Garfield lamp. Alf pulls the lamp part out of Garfield.
And Garfield is pissed because he does not want to wake up to deal with this shit. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, who cares?
Garfield's like, fuck this. Like, let me sleep, bitches.
Yeah, he's like, don't wake me up unless there's lasagna ready. And he looks around the room and there's no lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you don't wake Garfield up for, like, no reason. I mean, I guess there's a reason, but still.
It was probably a Monday. He didn't want to get involved.
Probably. Goddamn Mondays.
Winnie the Pooh, like, stuffed doll is in the bed with the girl. Is her name Corey?
Yes, her name is Corey.
And there's an alarm clock, like a Kermit the Frog from Muppet Babies alarm clock.
Yeah.
So they have to wake him up, too.
He's not moving because he's a clock.
For some reason, he's the only one who, like, they have to actually, like, wake him up via the alarm part.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay, do not ask for any of this to make sense because it's not going to make sense.
I have a theory.
Okay.
And we'll get to it in a moment, as soon as we get to the parents.
Okay.
All the tunes, they now wake up Corey, and they have to like hide though, like right when they wake. When they wake her up, they all have to hide.
Oh, you forgot that Alvin and the Chipmunks are there. Slimer, the Muppet Babies.
Yeah, I was segueing into that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I got ahead of you. Sorry.
As soon as the little girl wakes up, like she's like rubbing her eyes. And that's when Slimer from Ghostbusters floats through the wall. And he has like some light in his hand. I don't know what, but he like shines a light to where the piggy bank is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And Corey's like, oh my God, my piggy bank's been stolen.
Oh my God, my piggy bank.
She kind of like gets up and she starts like going through the house. And that's when all the other cartoon characters start like sneaking through. And Alvin and the Chipmunks join. But Simon and Theodore, they have to pull Alvin out too.
Well, yeah, Alvin is watching his like cartoon. Alvin doesn't want to get up and do this. He's like, I've got a cartoon to watch, people. Let me enjoy my show.
So they have to drag him out too. So far, the two like people who aren't totally into this are Garfield and Alvin. They get dragged into this mess. So I don't know, for some reason, they just decide to go into their brother's room?
Yeah, they like kind of just suspect him, I guess.
And they go in there and they see him like smash open the piggy bank.
Mm-hmm.
The brother's on the bed and he's like counting like nickels and dimes and quarters. And he's like, oh my God, there's like $20 in here. There's like 7 coins.
There was no way there was $20. No way there was $20 in that piggy bank.
There's 7 coins there.
Like maybe $1.50.
Then all the cartoon characters, they hide underneath the bed. And I guess the sister's coming into the room. And I think the boy, his name's Michael, right?
Yeah, his name's Michael.
He has like a mysterious box like on his desk.
Yes. I was like, oh, a box of jugs. A serious no-no.
Because the sister's starting to come into the room, he slides the drug box underneath the bed. And that's when all the cartoon characters see it. And Simon and Theodore are the only two who knows what it is.
Yes. Okay. Simon smells it, and he's like, "This is marijuana." And then goes into like the scientific like explanation, and I'm just sitting there going, "How does Simon know what marijuana smells like?"
I think there had to be probably a certain amount of entertainment and a certain amount of educational in order to like appease this program. Mm-hmm. So you would just get these like random facts sputtered at you every so often.
Very true.
Like, so that's why you would have like Simon be like, the active ingredient in marijuana is THC.
And you're just like, okay, Simon, thank you for that little tidbit.
He's dropping knowledge all through this whole thing.
Hey, can we talk about how old the brother looks, like just in general? He did not look like a teenager. They definitely made him look like he was at least 35 years old.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be like 15 or 16, I think, right?
Something around there.
He looked old because he was on drugs.
Yeah, probably.
It aged him. But they do flash back to like earlier in his life, like a year earlier, and he's like a young child.
A year or two. I think it's like 2 years.
And it flashes back to like the first time he smoked pot, and he totally got like peer pressured into it.
Like, I never got peer pressured into smoking pot.
He ran into those like cool kids that show up later on, and they are really cool, these kids. I'm not gonna lie.
I want that damn hat. I wish that hat was still luck.
Yeah, there was a girl on it. She had like the Brenda Walsh hat. She looked like she would have fit in on Daria, the MTV cartoon.
No, Kids Incorporated. She totally would have fit in with like the Stacey Ferguson stuff that like Stacey wore back in the day on Kids Incorporated.
Yeah, and she was very like Lisa Turtle-esque too.
Yes.
And like season 1 Kelly Taylor.
Oh my god, I bet if I went back, I could probably find outfits almost identical.
Before Michael meets up with the kids, we get a scene where Corey's downstairs in the kitchen, and the dad is like going through his refrigerator, and he's like, I could have sworn I had like more beers than this.
Yeah, it's like, didn't I have? And the mom's like, oh, you probably just drank them.
Yeah, she goes, you probably drank too many of them last night when you were watching football. And he's like, oh yeah, you're probably right. I loved that line.
It's like, oh yeah.
The mom is such an enabler in this.
Yeah, she is, for real.
The little girl, Corey, she like knows where the bear went. She's like, oh my God, like a part of her knew it was Michael that took him.
But of course, because it wasn't her. Dad's confused and mom's oblivious.
So I have a theory.
Okay.
Involving the parents. I have a theory that the mom is like drugging her family with LSD. And that's why everyone in the house is like seeing things. They're like hallucinating, and cartoon characters are talking to them. And like pot smoke is following Michael around and like telling him to do drugs.
Well, she's probably like one of those like women that you see on like ID or 48 Hours or Dateline that like drugs the family to like murder them.
Yeah, like slowly though, like not all at once.
Yes.
Like over time. So
maybe they're sick and people can't figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, and this is 1990, so like the blood tests weren't that great. So like Michael's sick and they take him to the hospital and they do like a blood test and they can't find anything wrong with him.
They can't like find a pinpoint. They can't pinpoint an issue and just keeps getting worse. Like, yeah, I just watched like something on ID channel like a week or two ago about a woman who did this.
Yeah, like she could have just like very easily gone and like drowned her whole family or done like carbon monoxide poisoning, but she's like, you know what? No, I'm going to do like a long con.
But you know what? I don't think people knew about carbon monoxide back in 1990.
They didn't?
I don't think it was like a thing.
It didn't exist? It wasn't a chemical compound?
I think it existed. It just wasn't like, you have to have a carbon monoxide detector. I feel like that was a recent, like 10 or 15 years ago thing.
Everyone died in the house and no one knew why. It was like witchcraft.
Yes, it was like the silent killer.
Like your neighbors killed you with like magic.
Yeah.
It was like Salem Witch Trials 1980s edition.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, but like I just have this secret theory that it was the mom doing this whole thing. Like she even is like, her alibi is like telling her husband that like, oh no, like you drank all the beers last night when you had too many watching the fucking Broncos game.
You know what? Maybe mom drank all the beers.
That too, yeah, because she definitely was like a housewife. She wasn't like a worker because she wore that like 50s housewife dress.
Yeah, carbon monoxide detectors didn't become a thing until like the 1990s.
Did you just Google that?
I totally just Googled that.
What year was the very first carbon monoxide detector?
Well, it doesn't say like the year. In the late 1990s, Underwriters Laboratories changed their definition of a single station detector. Or maybe I'm reading this wrong. Never mind. Ignore me.
This is not Fact Hour with Kat Halstead.
This is not Fact Hour.
No.
I was looking for like a year it was invented, but...
Do you think carbon monoxide is a ruse invented by murderous housewives?
No, I don't think it's a ruse. I've definitely watched like true stories where like somebody gets killed by it on purpose.
Like an angry mom?
Yeah, like the angry mom gets killed by the husband. I just listened to a podcast about that like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like she wanted to be Jill Taylor. She wanted to go back to school, but the husband was like, no. And she was just bitter all these years. She's just like, fuck these guys. I'm just gonna like, I don't know, like take a hammer and like bang one of the like the gas pipes downstairs and just let the house fill with fumes. It
does appear though, it wasn't until like 2008, 2009 when states started like making it mandatory to have them in the home.
Like if you're trying to sell like a condo or an apartment to like rent, I think you have to have one. Like inspection comes through now, and like if you don't have it, it's like illegal, I guess.
Like I know my apartment
shout out to housing laws.
I know my apartment in Minnesota had one, and I know there's one like downstairs here by my room.
I definitely had one, and then the battery got low. And then You know how like a smoke detector will beep when the battery's low? My carbon monoxide detector was like beeping because the battery's low. And it was just like a battery that I didn't have. It was just like a weird sized battery. And I was just like, yeah, fuck it. So I just threw it out.
Oh my God, Patrick.
I like to live on the edge.
Yeah, for real, obviously. I can't wait to get interviewed by 48 hours before your death.
Yeah, they're going to listen to this podcast and they're going to hear you talking about this like murder plot.
I'm too far away.
I don't know. They're going to like find like there was like one day there's like an American Airlines hit on your credit card or something.
No, I just watched one where like the husband like killed the wife and actually had like his best friend do it while he was out of town. And the best friend lived like 3 states away, but he drove down for the night to like kill the wife and then like went back.
He did it some sneaky way where there's like no paper trail. Like he borrowed someone's car, stopped at all the gas stations and paid in cash so you couldn't like track him where he was. He didn't bring his cell phone with him.
Exactly. Obviously, we watch too many murder shows.
Yeah, and too many Dexter. Like I've seen so much Dexter that I just know like how I will do any kind of murdering.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, like you got to wear that rubber like uranium suit. So like no hair follicles get anywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Like our skin flakes. Well, because like the CSI people like look for like any minor clue. Like they'll find like a thread and then they'll track it down to like your shirt that you bought at Kohl's, like your Mark Anthony line.
Yeah, like the shirt you bought like 4 years ago that's just been sitting in the back of your closet.
Yeah, they check your like Kohl's credit card and it's like it matches with the shirt that he bought 4 years ago because that was a 4 years ago style. And we found it in the trash bag.
That's why you gotta like donate that.
They'll still find a way because I don't know, you'll like there'll be like a camera. I don't know, like they'll always find a way.
That's true, they will. Unless you're O.J. Simpson.
Well, you have the money for like a dream team of lawyers.
The most ridiculous dream team ever.
How about this way? If you want to be a murderer, go back to 1990, go into a cartoon, and kill your family with drugs that cause hallucinations. Like the mom from Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue.
Yes.
And where are we in this, speaking of?
Oh, we're right at the point where Pooh Bear starts talking to Corey. And she's all like, Pooh Bear, you can talk?
Yeah, that's her reaction to this. And he's like, yeah, I always could, but I never had anything to say.
It's like, okay, hold up. Hold the phone. Pooh Bear, you could talk, but you never had anything to say until today.
And she's totally fine with it. She's just like, oh, my stuffed animal talks to me.
She's like, okay, my stuffed Pooh Bear can talk to me. This is 100% normal.
And he's like, you need to go up to your brother's room because he has something up there. Something up there that you need to see. He's in trouble. And she's like, okay, like, let's go investigate.
But I think it's so wrong.
Michael is like, is he at like an arcade or something, or like a bowling alley?
Yeah, he's at the arcade because, again, this is 1990, so I think this might still actually be a thing.
And they're smoking pot inside the arcade.
Yes, they're gathered in like the corners smoking pot. Like, does nobody work at the arcade? Or does like the teenager, or one of them probably works at the arcade. It's probably the guy in charge of quarters.
Yeah, they're in front of Mortal Kombat, smoking a reefer. And then the fashionable girl with the cool hat, she's like, hey, I got this new stuff called crack. And she like unfolds her hand and there's little like crack rocks in her hand. And they're all like, oh, yeah, we're definitely doing this. Like, we're totally going to smoke crack right now.
Because, you know, it's just that easy.
That's when you hear like police sirens in the distance and they just immediately assume it's coming after them. And they just like throw the crack rocks against the wall and like flip out and run away.
Because I'm sure that wasn't like, what, $20?
Oh, I'm sure it was more than that.
They just threw against the wall and ran away from?
There was like 6 or 7 crack rocks there.
Yeah. Not that I have any understanding of how much that stuff costs, because I'm the innocent.
Well, I'm surprised that like Whitney Houston did not just like bust down the wall. It was like crack.
Like the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah. Shout out to Whitney.
Hope she's resting in peace.
Oh, she is. She's looking down and laughing right now. She's like, oh, snap.
Crack is whack.
Or at least Bobby Brown. Whitney Houston was still probably classy at this point in time.
No, not according to the Lifetime movie.
Oh, like she started early?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause she was with Bobby Brown by this point, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, so she was in
She's
troubled waters. She probably watched us and laughed her ass off.
Probably.
The boy, Michael, he runs outside into the alley, and it looks like he's about to be cornered by a police officer. Instead, it turns out to be funny-sounding Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny! What?
It's like the wrong voice Bugs Bunny because Mel Blanc like just died like right before they did the recording of this. So it's that awkward period where it's not really Bugs Bunny because we got that in the Earth Day special too, I think.
I think so, yeah. I think that because those are about the same time, right?
Yeah. The first like 3 years of Looney Tunes without Mel Blanc the voice action was just awful. And like we're fresh off Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so that was like our last hurrah.
Okay, hold on. Just an FYI, the Earth Day special aired the next night.
What?
Yeah.
For real?
For real.
For real.
100% for real.
Oh my god. Do we have to follow this up with the Earth Day special?
We might have to. We might have to go and actually like dive in full on to the Earth Day special.
Just to kind of like relive this weekend.
This weekend where we get don't do drugs. But hey, here's the most depressing, crazy, convoluted special you will ever see in your life.
So there was like a lot of agendas being pushed this week.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, it's April. It's not even sweeps.
So this is a very educational time. A very educational time in America.
It wasn't even sweeps.
But it's Bugs Bunny, and he takes Michael on this like wild ride.
Mm-hmm. Back in time, like 2 years where of course everything's black and white because it's the past.
That was it. Okay, he did the time machine. How does Michael end up in the sewer though? I can't remember. Everything's just so crazy in this.
I honestly don't remember. I think Bugs drops him down there.
He like somehow ends up in a sewer, and that's where he bumps into Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, who like I don't know why they picked him because he's like supposed to be the party dude.
That's probably why. I think Michelangelo is actually probably the most popular
of the Ninja Turtles.
Because
I feel like he probably smoked a lot of pot because he was always hungry. He was always munching down pizza.
They were all always hungry. They're like running around trying to stop Splinter or Shredder or whoever it is.
Michelangelo was the hungriest of the bunch. I could definitely see Leonardo or Donatello being like the anti-drug turtle, but Michelangelo, I don't know. I don't buy it. Didn't buy it one bit.
I just think he was the most popular one.
I think he was everybody's favorite. So after Michelangelo's segment, we then get like the Muppet Baby segment, and this was like the weirdest part of the whole thing because Michael the boy ends up on like it's kind of like a train ride through the brain.
Roller coaster thing.
Yeah. And it's with Kermit and Miss Piggy. And Miss Piggy is upset because it's not a Tunnel of Love ride.
Yeah, she's like pissed. And Gods is like, this is just one artist's interpretation of what drugs is like.
Miss Piggy wants to get finger banged on the Tunnel of Love. And Kermit wants to take him through like what drugs does to your brain. So it's just, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
God, Patrick.
And it ends with Michael like going into like a hall of mirrors and he sees what he would look like if he keeps doing drugs, and it's like him looking at a zombie.
My favorite is he's just like, I look good, and they're like, well, these are funny mirrors.
But there's one point when they show him and he looks like a zombie,
and he's all like on this like table with like the heroin needle just like
like sticking out of his arms, and he's like convulsing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this gets pretty graphic.
Yeah, it is pretty graphic considering.
And then meanwhile, like in Michael's bedroom, Corey is now being like pressured by the pot smoke monster.
Hold on, because first she tries to talk to Dad, and she's like, do you think Michael's been acting weird? He's like, oh well, he's a teen, so it's okay.
And the dad is short. The dad is really short. I just want to throw that out there.
The dad's just like, go talk to Pooh Bear somewhere. I gotta get high off the sawdust.
The artist that drew the dad, he's the same height as the little girl. Did you notice that?
They only had 6 weeks to make this.
I can see why.
Fast turnaround.
Yeah, well, because they probably have the templates for all of like the regular characters, like the regular cartoon Saturday morning cartoon characters, but
yeah, the
other characters like are just drawn horribly. That's why you have like the dad is the same height as the little girl.
Exactly.
They're off scale.
The whole thing is just ridiculous.
So the sister is like, I guess, is she like about to take a hit of pot?
Well, no,
after she finds
the bot. Well, first Michael crashes back down to Earth, and he's like, "Somebody help me!" And Huey, Dewey, and Louie show up because that's who you need to help you. Are the ducks?
Oh, and they bust into a song.
Yes,
like a Just Say No song.
This Just Say No song, and then Tigger shows up. Miss Piggy does a karate kick, and then that's when Michael goes home and finds Corey with the smoke monster thing, about to like do something with all the crap he's got in this box, because it's not just pot in the box. There's pills, there's other things. Like, what was this kid doing?
Yeah, like I could see him like coming across like a little bit of pot and he like just kept it in his room. That's fine, but he just had like every kind of drug imagine. He had like LSD, he probably had shrooms, he had like a syringe.
Yeah, like what is this kid doing?
He just had like all this paraphernalia, and like where he got it and like where he got the money to buy it, definitely not in Corey's piggy bank.
No, for real. And the brother's like, don't do it, don't ever do this stuff.
Did he like raid like a college campus? Like what?
I don't know, because he's only like 16 at the maximum.
And I don't even think he's that old. Like he's probably like 15 at the most. Maybe like 16 next month.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, 16 is like the absolute high oldest this kid could be. He's probably more like 15, maybe 14.
So the little girl like gets like whacked out of doing drugs, and then like the brother's like, yeah, you shouldn't do it. I know I did it. I'm a stupid idiot. Thankfully, all these like crazy cartoon characters talked me out of it.
Like, yeah, we talked you out of it.
I spent the whole afternoon hanging out with Alf, Gordon Shumway.
Yeah, Alf, was it when he was at the mirror? He's like, well, it's not Freddy Krueger.
Shout out to Freddy Krueger.
For real.
The two kids are like, you know what? We should go downstairs and just like tell mom and dad all about our adventure.
Well, he's like, how am I gonna? He's like, don't do this stuff. She's like, never ever do this stuff. And she's like, but you did it. And he's like, I was a dope. And she's like, well, I'll help you, and so will mom and dad.
It pretty much ends there, but I just like kept envisioning this like imaginary conversation that probably happened.
It just like ends. You don't find out like, did the kid overcome it or what? Because they're not going to give you those statistics. Can we be real?
That's why like I just wanted to see the aftermath conversation. I wanted to see the two kids walk downstairs. Like Michael was bringing like the pot box with him, and he's like, hey mom, hey dad. Like, I just want to let you know that I have this like shoebox filled with like crack, heroin, pot, like LSD, all this stuff. It's cool though.
There's some speed, cocaine.
Yeah, your daughter helped me out, my sister. She totally talked me out of it, along with the help of every cartoon character that you see on the major networks right now. Yeah,
like the only one who didn't show up was Mickey Mouse.
I don't think he was currently active with anything at that time though.
Maybe not. But he's Mickey Mouse.
Because
we got Pooh Bear.
The Looney Tunes totally still had that like Tweety Bird show that just played like the old cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess Pooh Bear represented Disney.
Pooh and Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
That's true. Mickey had other stuff to do. Fantasia, I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, so I would have loved to see like the aftermath conversation. Mm-hmm. And they probably would have sent both of those kids to the nut house, or the mom would have been like, oh shit, I've been caught. Like, they know what I'm up to.
That's a kid who packed his bags later that day and got sent to rehab.
Went to like Hidden Palms.
Yeah, something like Promises.
Yeah, went to like a day spa. That's what they're going to tell everyone. Like, oh, he's at a day spa for the next 6 weeks.
Or you know what? He probably didn't even go to rehab. Probably went to one of those like troubled boy camps.
Yeah, and they probably made him sign up for one of those like weird after school programs where you could like hang out with like a former crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Big Brother kind of program.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. Like I used to steal when I was your age, but I don't anymore.
Exactly.
I got the track lines to prove
it. Oh my god.
But hey, just say no. It's okay.
This is epically awful, and I love it for being awful.
It's not a coherent, like, you might as well be on drugs while you're watching it because it doesn't make a lick of sense.
Okay, not gonna lie, like, when the second time I sat through this, I had chugged some wine before I watched it.
It was the only way to get through it.
I was like, I can't sit through this again. I gotta chug the wine.
All right, so what are we doing next week?
I have no idea.
The one thing that you should do is just to know what we are doing next week.
Sorry.
All right, so next week, join us. We are going to go back to the early days of television again. We're going back to black and white times.
Oh, yes.
So that can only mean one thing. The Donna Reed Show.
There are many things it could have been.
I don't know why I said that can only mean one thing. That could have been like a many of things.
But oddly, I knew that you meant the Donna Reed Show.
There's only one black and white show in the history of the world, and it's the Donna Reed Show. So that's going to be an exciting time. So we're going to go into the next 75 episodes, and we're going to kick it off with Donna Reed.
Yes, Donna Reed, America's favorite housewife.
What other way could we do it?
Exactly.
All right. So as always.
Bye.